Before I begin, I want to ask everyone watching to subscribe to my channel. It really helps me keep sharing these true life, intense stories about betrayal and heartbreak. And if this story shocks you, confuses you, or hits too close to home, share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. It all started with a text. Just a few words, but enough to make my stomach turn. Can't talk tonight. Dinner with someone special. Love you. Love me? My own wife was texting that to someone else. Or at least, that's what my gut screamed. I stared at my phone, trying to convince myself it was innocent. Maybe it was a colleague, a friend. Maybe I was overreacting. But a small voice in my chest whispered something I didn't want to hear. Over the past few months, I'd noticed the changes. She'd start receiving late calls that she quickly ended, sudden work meetings that dragged her out late, and little white lies about where she'd been. At first, I blamed myself. Maybe I wasn't attentive enough. Maybe I was imagining things. But then came the moments that couldn't be ignored. The lingering smiles at her phone, the subtle withdrawal, the sudden defensiveness when I asked simple questions. I tried to reason with myself. I told myself it was paranoia, that my insecurities were twisting reality. But reality has a way of asserting itself, sometimes cruelly, sometimes quietly, until it can't be ignored. The night it all came to a head was quiet at first. She told me she was going out for dinner with a friend. I knew the restaurant. It was a small, upscale place downtown, the kind of place she loved, the kind of place that would make it easy to hide a betrayal. I should have trusted my instincts. I should have stayed home. But instead, I followed her, keeping my distance, trying not to be seen. Inside, I watched her from across the room, laughing in a way I hadn't heard in months, not at a joke I told, not at me, but at him, the man she was with. My chest tightened. My hand shook. I wanted to scream, to run away, to disappear. But I also knew I had to confront the truth. So I did the only thing I could think of. I walked in calm but resolute and slid into the booth across from them. "Hi," I said, my voice steady but my heart hammering. She froze. The man looked confused. And then she laughed, a short, sharp, nervous laugh. What are you doing here?" she stammered. I slid a thin envelope across the table. "These are divorce papers," I said, voice low. "I think it's time we stopped pretending." Her reaction destroyed me. Not anger, not tears, not begging. She just smiled, an unsettling, almost triumphant smile, and said, "I thought you'd never do it." Finally, some honesty between us. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. My mind raced, trying to understand what I'd just witnessed. Was this relief? Was it mockery? I felt like I'd been punched from every angle, every memory I had of our life together twisting into pain. I thought about the past months, the small touches that now felt empty, the whispered promises that now felt like lies, the laughter we shared that she had been reserving for someone else. Every memory stung. We didn't speak for a long time. I wanted to shout, to break down, to collapse into tears. But instead, I sat numb. She finally spoke, explaining in fragments the loneliness she felt, the excitement she'd found elsewhere, the mistakes that had snowballed into betrayal. I listened, not because I forgave her, but because I needed to hear it, to understand the full weight of what had happened. I realized then that love isn't always enough. Trust, once shattered, leaves scars that nothing can erase. And yet, even in that moment of utter devastation, a strange clarity came over me. I could stay and try to fix something broken, or I could leave and reclaim the pieces of myself she had ignored. I chose to leave, not in anger, not in a dramatic scene, but quietly with my dignity intact. I took the papers, signed them, and left them where she could see them. She called after me, begged, tried to explain, but I didn't turn back. Not then, not ever. Driving away that night, I felt every emotion at once. Grief, anger, heartbreak, and, strangely, relief. Relief that I no longer had to live in a house where trust had been replaced with deception, where love had been substituted with selfishness. Relief that I could start over, that I could rebuild, that I could remember my own worth. Weeks later, I reflect on that night constantly. The pain hasn't fully disappeared. It lingers in quiet moments, in memories of laughter and whispered dreams that now feel hollow. But the strength I gained from facing the betrayal head-on has become a part of me. I've learned that dignity matters, that silence can speak louder than anger, and that sometimes the most courageous act isn't confrontation, it's walking away. I still think of her, of what we had, and the life we almost had. But I don't regret the choice I made. The papers on that table weren't just a legal form. They were a statement, a boundary, a reclaiming of my life.